Someone else who is spiraling and tanking their career is none other than Simone Biles, the Olympic gymnast. We loved her. I believe she's the most decorated gymnast on earth. Don't hold me to it. Sports, they're not my strong suit, not my forte. But Simone Biles, as we spoke about in the last episode, she decided to come out and support men and women's sports, basically. She said, Riley Gaines, go pick on someone your own size, which ironically would be a man, even though Simone Biles is insecure about her own body, according to People magazine and reporting that we found. So Simone Biles, she's a hypocrite. She wanted men and women's sports, and the backlash was swift. Okay, it was Taylor Swift backlash, Simone Biles. I have never seen some Olympic athlete tarnish their legacy so quickly, but that's who Simone Biles is. And it's how the woke mind virus will just eat you up. And so we have some quotes here. Simone Biles decided to issue a public apology. She got together with her publicist and her PR team, and it took her a few days, but she decided she was going to issue a public apology, which was so jumbled and full of crap. But we'll read you an excerpt. So Simone says, I've always believed competitive equity and inclusivity are both essential in sport. The current system doesn't adequately balance these important principles, which often leads to frustration and heated exchanges. And it didn't help for me to get personal with Riley, which I apologize for. These are sensitive, complicated issues that I truly don't have the answers or solutions to. Well, why'd you open your mouth? Why did you open your mouth? But here we go. I believe it starts with empathy and respect. It's not what you showed Riley. I was not advocating for policies that compromise fairness in women's sports. My objection is to be singling out children for public scrutiny in ways that feel personal and harmful. Individual athletes, especially kids, should never be the focus of criticism of a flawed system they have no control over. So that was Simone's apology. That was her PR statement. She's trying to save face. I imagine she has brand deals and sponsorships and a whole team of people. She is worth millions and millions and millions of dollars, Simone Biles. And I really don't think she was expecting the backlash. I think Simone thought, because she hangs out with a bunch of liberals, maybe she hangs out with a bunch of trans people, she thought, oh my God, this is going to help my career. I'm going to come out and everyone's going to love me because I'm clapping back at Riley. That's what she thought. If I'm Simone Biles, she's thinking, I'm going to clap back at this Riley Gaines girl and I'm going to be beloved because she's that Fox girl. She's that conservative girl. Well, guess what? Fox, conservative, Republican, who gives a rat's ass. Riley Gaines is on the 80% of the 80-20 issue. You're in the minority on this one, Simone Biles. I honestly think it's like a 99-1 issue, but people are just scared to come out and say it because they don't want to be called transphobic. I have the balls to say it. I don't care. Men should not be in women's sports or women's locker rooms. So then Riley Gaines responded with class. Here's what Riley had to say. So she says, I accept Simone's apology for the personal attacks, including the ones where she body shamed me. I know she knows what this feels like. She's still the greatest female gymnast of all time. The boys are publicly humiliating the girls. To suggest that women and girls must be silent or ignore a boy who is publicly hurting or humiliating them is wrong. You can't have any empathy and compassion for the girls if you're ignoring when young men are harming or abusing them. I'm not ashamed to be a voice for the voiceless. Thank you, Riley Gaines. These men, because let's call it what it is, these men are coming into women's sports and they are trying to humiliate them. They are trying to usurp and infiltrate their spaces. There are young girls that are being told, you have to go stand up there next to a guy on a podium, even though you've worked your ass off. These girls, some of them get up at 4 a.m. every single day to train for their respective sport. And they're told at the last minute, you have to share everything with a man who came in and jumped into your category because they couldn't hack it in the men's category, because that's what these men do. You really don't hear a lot of stories. You don't hear almost any stories. I can't think of one where a woman goes and competes in the men's category, because guess what? That is not going to help you win. The men come and compete in the women's because they know they have an advantage, a physical advantage. Even Serena Williams, all these big athletes who are probably Democrats and liberals, they agree on this. There are biological differences between men and women. This is birds and the bees. Why am I having to explain this to you people? So Simone Biles, I don't know why she doesn't know this. It's remedial. Maybe she doesn't have much education because she's been in the gym 24/7 every single day, but there are differences between men and women. And I'm also happy to see more women speaking up across the country, right? I think these young girls, especially in high school now, they feel emboldened knowing we are in their corner. You're in their corner. The people watching and listening to this, I'm in their corner. Megyn Kelly's in their corner. There are loud voices like Riley Gaines who are in their corner saying, ladies, fight back. You don't need to go get up on a podium with some guy, some broad-shouldered dude with an Adam's apple the size of Alabama. You don't need to get on a podium with him. Walk off. don't compete, raise freaking hell. And we're actually seeing in liberal cities now, the crowds are booing. They are booing when a man comes into a women's sports and takes a trophy. They're going, boo, boo. And I never thought I would see that in some of these deep blue cities. But people are fighting back. And I think the dads and the brothers and the boyfriends and the husbands, they're tired of seeing women's spaces infiltrated and erased. And something I would ask Simone Biles, and I hope Simone Biles and Riley Gaines sit down. I think it could be a really interesting conversation. Something I would want to ask her is, does she think it's okay for men to be in women's locker rooms now? Does she still think it's okay after the public backlash? And she's also someone who I imagine is pro-choice. Simone Biles, she is someone who considers herself a feminist icon. And the left, they're all about protecting and uplifting women, but I guess not women athletes. They want to protect women, but they're fine with men coming in at the last minute and taking everything these girls have worked for. And what's also embarrassing is that the leadership in Washington, D.C. on the Democrat side, Chris Murphy, Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, Tim Walz, they're all a bunch of beta males who don't want to defend women. They're perfectly fine with women being erased. And I know it sounds harsh, but you hate women. I think that's the new misogyny. The new misogyny is you're perfectly fine with a guy coming in and beating up on young girls in their sports teams. We've seen it with Peyton McNabb. We've seen it with countless other girls. They get hurt. They get injured. There are girls who don't get to make headlines and ones we will never hear about. But this is not okay. This is the new misogyny. This is like the reverse misogyny, actually. This is the misogyny of 2025, where they want men to come in and take everything these girls work for because they couldn't hack it in their own categories. So Simone Biles, you can express contrition all you want. You can apologize. I will never forgive you. I don't give a rat's ass really about who you are. I think Simone Biles is someone who's famous every 4 years and then probably not anymore. These Olympic athletes, they kind of phase out. They are incredible, superhuman. And then we have a new crop that comes in. And I think it's time for Simone Biles to go count her cash and let some new blood and some new meat come in and some new voices who understand the culture, because clearly she does not.